Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Is the Perth Mint relying on Chinese bars for delivery? Let's explore. The Perth Mint has been pretty controversial as of late. There has been a lot of accusations that have been going around, and late last month they actually answered one with regards to the silver shortage. You know, the silver shortage is misunderstood to a point. Most of us, I think, when you think about it, understand that it clearly means there is a shortage of silver product out there. For instance, the Royal Mint is feeling the squeeze, for they have run out of silver bars, apparently, and many bullion dealers in general are having a hard time sourcing silver bars. But the Perth Mint especially has been accused of other things, and the latest is that they are relying on Chinese bars for delivery, and from the LBMA pool of these 1,000-ounce good delivery bars. It is interesting to see that more and more people are requesting delivery for these 1,000-ounce bars. And I'm not sure exactly how that works, but the Perth Mint, the accusation that was been made is by one John Adams, had broke this on his Twitter page. He's an Australian economist, and he has been known for stories like this and other things, I think, in the past. I'm not as familiar with his work, but I did look at his Twitter page based off some direction from some of the viewers in my channel. And I went and heard an interview that he gave about it, and he mentioned people contacting him that have actually dealt with the Perth Mint. But we don't really have the actual exchange and the nuance of what those are about. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say this is true, and that the Perth Mint is selling these bars from China as opposed to their own Australian-made 1,000-ounce bars. Well, how valid are these bars? Well, they're LBMA approved, apparently, from what was mentioned in the interview that John Adams gave, and they also could be suspect, because how often are they validated? In other words, are they verified? How many of those are tested compared to regular LBMA 1,000-ounce good delivery bars? We just don't know. But the fact that we're starting to see more requests for physical delivery of these types of bars is quite interesting. I did see a screenshot on the Wall Street Silver Forum of 1,000-ounce bars available from SD Bullion. So I think it's quite interesting to see that there are some out there available, but really, who would want to have 1,000-ounce bars? And in reality, if you think about it, if you look on their page, these 1,000-ounce bars are really under 1,000 ounces, like 972 ounces. That's over 72 pounds of silver. But people are requesting delivery of that particular size, because it's hard to get the smaller sizes, almost impossible. You can find 1 ounce rounds, 1 ounce coins, and some specialized silver products such as premium silver and the like, or collectible silver. But finding the bar form, which is usually the lowest premium, has been difficult. And I think a lot of it is due to two reasons. Because of the demand, because of the squeeze, mints are concentrating on producing high-volume rounds that can just spit those things out probably much quicker than they can the bars. Because in the past, the bars weren't as a popular way to accumulate silver. Now, these Chinese bars that are being accumulated, I don't know how that works with the Perth Mint. If anybody knows, I'd be very curious. Or if there's a representative of the Perth Mint that could comment on this video, I'd be very curious to see if that is a normal thing. In other words, when people request for delivery of 1,000-ounce bars in a normal market, will they just get whatever 1,000-ounce bars are available? Or can it be requested that you get a Perth Mint bar? Are they out of 1,000-ounce bars? Are they still fabricating them into a method to meet demand, or are they literally out of them and can't keep up with the demand for those, so they're having to source from other inventory? I'd be very curious to know what that is about. Very interesting to see. There's other accusations that have been thrown out there. I'm not going to cover each one of them, but I do want to keep an open mind about this, but also want to keep in perspective that this may be totally normal. I don't know. We don't know. There's usually two sides to every story, or sometimes even more than that. Somewhere in the middle is the truth, but regardless, what John Adams, the common theme on John Adams' Twitter feed, and the common theme among most of us in the community here on Wall Street Silver and wherever else, is that now is a good time to get out of the paper markets and ETFs, in other words, and to get your physical. I think that, but the thing is, most of the people that would hear this message are probably already accumulating physical. But I would say if you're into SLV, it's a good time to get out of that and to stack the physical form, because we do know, one thing is for sure, is that the number of ETFs to back up the number of physical ounces of silver far exceeds those numbers. It's a mismatch, and that is the case with any ETF and commodity out there. But something like silver, that especially now with the squeeze going on for silver product out there, I think it's a good time to liquidate those positions. I'm not a financial advisor, but if you are in SLV and maybe even PSLV, now the PSLV they say is 100% backed by the physical allocated and what have you. In other words, for every one of those you buy, there is for sure, every one, there is that ounce to back it up. But I would say it's probably a good time to either liquidate those positions into the physical bars if you can get them. Some people are saying that to get those positions, it's very difficult under normal circumstances. And so what's the choice that people have? Well, if you scroll over at the Wall Street Silver Forum on Reddit, you will see people accumulating whatever they can in the physical silver form. And I think that's a good thing if you're worried about it. But the problem with that, too, is there are premiums. For those big LBMA bars, those 1,000-ounce bars, there are delivery fees and probably premiums tied to those. The shipping of those things is also something to take into account. I know a member of the community said, well, hey, refrigerators are heavier than these 1,000-ounce bars, and those are shipped all the time. But they aren't as valuable. There's a lot of value. That's what, $26,000 worth of silver being delivered. I think there's a little difference there in how that is treated. And same thing with those gold bars as well, too. And so those are things to take into account and consider. You're having a 72-pound, $26,000, that's about as much as a small car, being delivered to your home. How does that work? I don't know. I would never buy a 1,000-ounce silver bar. I've seen them at coin shows. They're quite fascinating, but it's not very practical. Most people are wanting to liquidate those in order to send that message to the COMEX and the like. But I did hear enough of an interview with John Adams and another in that realm say that more than likely we're not going to break the COMEX. It's just not going to happen because they'll change the rules and the like. But I thought I'd share this with you. Is the Perth Mint relying on Chinese bars for delivery? They could be. I don't know. I'm not ruling it out that could be the case, but I'm also not ruling out the possibility that the Perth Mint, for anybody that wants to cash out their COMEX or their contracts for 1,000-ounce bars, may have those in the pool anyway. I don't know how they handle that. I've been very curious to know. So let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are about this. And if you are familiar with John Adams, I did check out a little bit of what he's talking about there, and I'm not necessarily ready to throw the Perth Mint under the bus. I would love to hear both sides. One thing that he did mention there on this interview is that the Perth Mint was had a feature done on them by Sky News. I did watch that, And of course, Sky News is not going to ask these types of questions about, well, hey, what about your silver product? What's the actual timeline to get from unallocated to allocated positions? What about these good delivery bars, these 1,000-ounce bars? Are you getting them from China? Is that normal? Explain that process, and it would make sense that they would not cover that type of thing for a major news source. But I think it would be nice to see the Perth Mint engage a little bit more on this side of the community where some of these questions are being asked. I think it is prudent, but the Perth Mint, obviously, as we know, they provide high-quality products in forms like this. For sure, they're unmatched, unparalleled, a great quality for sure. But I think as far as their bullion products, because this is what's considered better bullion, somewhat limited mintage products that are available out there, but they do provide bullion products as well, and there's a strain on that side of things, and I think it would be good to hear from them. So if anybody knows anyone at the Perth Mint, I would encourage you to direct them to this video, and I would be happy to interview somebody from the Perth Mint, or any mint, actually. I'd love to interview somebody from them and ask them some of these questions with a genuine level of curiosity, just to kind of get an idea of their perspective there. And people need to realize that these mints and even these bullion dealers are not our enemy, although many of them are certainly profiting from this, from these high premiums that we're paying for. But they are getting the metal in our hands, and we're creating our own high premiums in a sort because we're buying this stuff. But there are ways to get silver at a lower premium and buy it in clever ways. There's people in the community that have done videos about that, and that's something to take into account as well too. But I want to keep an open mind about all of this stuff, but I'm not quick to pass judgment on anybody, and I also want to be very careful and cautious out there with repeating charges and rumors without substantiation. And that's why I'm very cautious about it, because if people rely on that rumor and innuendo and think that the silver price is just going to go to the moon because of all this stuff and these accusations, and mean that we're literally running out of silver, well, they may be sorely disappointed when it doesn't come to pass. And so, but in the end, we understand that that what's going on with the dollar and what's going on with our banking system and the Federal Reserve and what the Federal Reserve is doing, there's good reason to hold this physical form of silver. Plenty of good reasons. But we should not have these false hopes or unrealistic expectations of where silver's price is going to go down the road. And why? Because silver is going to do what it's always done, and that is to preserve our wealth, to protect against an ever destabilized monetary system here, and a system that's going to be reformed and rebranded in a different way, reset, the Great Reset, and those are the things that certainly put a challenge to the faith that people will have in it, especially those of us who see it becoming more globalized. Well, we want to be our own central banks. We want to hold something of substance and value that's going to protect and preserve our wealth through these hardships and uncertainties. And that's where silver and especially gold comes into play. You can't leave gold out of this. I believe gold is the ultimate form of money. It is the best wealth preservation device, and but silver serves a role, especially in smaller forms, such as you see here. These products can certainly be good for exchanges for goods and services on a smaller scale, if need be. And they're quite beautiful to look at. Silver is a lovely metal, and so there you have it. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Perth Mint and Chinese bars for delivery. Thanks again for those of you who made me aware of this in the last video. but I thought I'd bring it up with a little bit of my perspective on it. A multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.